Hey guys, what's up? My name is Art and welcome to a in real life video or IRL. I don't do these very often, but when I do, I'm going to start doing a little bit more because there's a lot of things that's on my chest, and sometimes doing a video like this gets it off my chest. Today is September 10th. Tomorrow is September 11th, the infamous day. We now call it Patriot Day. Why do we call it Patriot Day? Well, it's to commemorate and honor those who lost their lives during 9/11. Kind of makes me wonder, what is patriotism? Well, the short answer is a love and devotion to one's country. Okay. So, here's a question. Do you love America? If you're American, do you love America? At times, I did not like what America does, but I still loved my country. Sometimes I didn't like what America has treated people of my complexion and my ethnicity, but I still loved America. And the funny thing is that sometimes one of the things about my country and most other countries, you can criticize your own government. As a show of love, because now here's the funny thing is we have President Biden in office. So guess what? All the Republicans are saying Biden destroyed America. Just like they said, Obama destroyed America. And then what happened is when Trump was around, Trump saves America. Trump saves America. And Democrats like me is like, damn, he's fucking shit up. Sorry, messing stuff up in case if you're a young viewer. If you're a young viewer and you're not mature enough to handle this, please skip this video. Seriously. I don't want to be contributing to delinquency of minors. But anyway, if you're not a minor, keep watching. Here's the thing. Everybody has a definition of what patriotism is about. My definition of patriotism is slightly different. One of the things is that, in my opinion, I don't have flags at my house. That doesn't mean I don't love America. If you have a flag at your house, that doesn't mean that you love America more than I do. That's not as it's a perception, but it's not the reality. Sorry. That hurts my chest. Wow. Talking about getting something off your chest. A good sneeze shatters your bones. Okay, sorry. I remember when I was in high school as questioning patriotism because every day you had to hold your hand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. And I basically started to become aware of things. And I said, why do I pledge myself to a country that disrespects me? And of course, a lot of people was like, what did you say? Now, mind you, this was when I was at public schools. Yeah. When I was at public school, it was like, well, everybody was like me. Everybody was black. My teacher was white, but everybody else was black. And a lot of people was like, yeah, right. Why do we do it? Because that's what Americans do. Okay. But why? And the problem is he couldn't come up with the answer. But the funny thing is, well, you shouldn't question it. But you train us to answer and give questions. So why this question you cannot answer? Then when I moved to private school, same thing. I asked the same question. Well, because of, and the funny thing is, I was one of the very few black people in an all-white school, so to speak, back in the '80s, which is really, I, you're stepping on a lot of toes with this. So as punishment for my questioning this, they was going to suspend me. They talked to my parents, and my parents was like, my dad was like, "Good, you starting to think. You're starting to think. You're starting to ask questions instead of accepting things as is. You're starting to think." Okay. Now remember, this is back in the '80s. Totally different era. Totally different ways of thinking, and society was a hell of a lot different back then than compared to now. So they made me a flag I forgot what you call it, the flag bearer. Basically, every day I raise the flag and lower the flag. It's about to rain. Art, go lower the flag. It's going to snow. Art, lower the flag. Which got me out of class a lot. And after a while, they're like, "Wait, hold on a second. Don't let the flag touch the ground." Why not? It loses integrity and honor. I say, why? Because it does. No, why? The problem is that my young self didn't understand the symbolism. It's symbolism. Just like, for example, if you're a religious person and you pray, and you if you say you're religious and you pray and read your Bible and you go to church or mass every Sunday, the book of the Bible is very symbolic. It has lots of meaning. And I went to a Christian school. It was run by a Baptist church. Take that in advice. When they said that, they basically took me aside and basically explained that to me. I'm like, oh, so this is just like the Bible, which doesn't make sense in today's world. Got got more punishment, and then my dad was like, "Look, I understand you're thinking, but you gotta stop getting in trouble by asking these questions. I'm glad you're thinking it, but stop asking these questions and getting in trouble." Okay, so I stopped. I accepted what they did as is. Then, when I got out of high school, went to college, my eyes was opened because you see international students at campus. There's people from China. Actually, those people from China, yes. People from Japan, people from Malaysia, people from Europe, one or two from Russia. And of course, I talked to these people. I went up and started talking to them. When I realized who they were, I started talking to them. Because I want to get a sense of some people from Mexico. So I want to get an idea how their country was. And, sometimes you hang out with them and stuff like that. And after a while, you get to learn certain aspects of other people's countries, which reinforces the reason why you sorry, not you, but why I love America. Because in their countries, technically they're free. In some countries, you're free, but you can't criticize their government, which we can do here. And the problem is, now the funny thing is, inherently, you can criticize. It says that you can criticize your government. We can criticize the American government. We can criticize our government, but if you do it in certain areas, you're not a patriot. You don't love America. One of my friends whose cousin's a super conservative. When Obama was president, he up and down every day. Obama's ruining the country. I said, well, okay, fine. Then when Trump got elected, he was like, yes, finally the country's back in track. Yes. And then when I started criticizing, you're not American. You hate America. I'm like, where were you the last 8 years? You was complaining about Obama. And which means you was complaining about the government. That shut his ass up real fast. His ex-wife, that guy's ex-wife at the time was chiming in too. She was like, "Oh, damn, you just got us, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, gotcha." But anyway, so one of the things I don't do, I don't wear flag paraphernalia. I don't. Now, if you do wear anything with the American flag on it, okay, that's great. But the reason why I don't do it, there's a thing called the flag code, which I had to learn when I was a kid and had to relearn recently. Basically, the flag code, the flag should not be put on any kind of merchandise. Having the colors of the flag is okay to a certain extent, but to put in the actual flag itself or resemblance or super resemblance of the flag, technically is considered disrespectful. Now, if you want to read the flag code, just look it up. It's super long, but sooner or later you'll get to that one juicy part what I'm talking about. So what happened was, so here's the funny thing is that one, to illustrate this point, one of my coworkers, I work for the federal government, which means I work for the United States government, okay, in a civilian category. No, I don't work for the IRS, and I don't work for the FBI or CIA or anything like that. I work for a different agency. Okay, so what happens, one of my coworkers one day came in a t-shirt with the American flag on it. Okay, now here's the problem. Our management pretty much told that person that can't wear that shirt in the office. And that person got upset. Blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay. And this person, he had to cover up. So he had to wear a hoodie or something like that. And he was telling me this, and I said, dude, read the flag code. What? I said, read the flag code. So during the job, he raised the flag code. He looks, oh, seriously? Plus, in our job, where the agency we work on, certain graphics we cannot wear. It's a graphics thing. Here's the thing: we all dedicated to America. We are all dedicated to America because to work in our job, you don't have to be an American citizen. I don't think you don't have to be. Well, the agency I work in, I think you do have to be an American citizen. Yes, I think you do. You could be naturalized. But the thing is, see, it's been so long since I had to read the rules of our agency. I've been there 22 years. I'm not going to remember most of the stuff like that. I was born and raised here. Okay. So, for example, one day I wore one of my t-shirts. It was Saturday overtime, which no public would see it. And it was a Degeneration X t-shirt. Where it says, we got 2 words for you. Guess what? I had to cover up because of graphics. Even though there's nobody around. But that's to help illustrate the point. It's because it's a graphic. It doesn't mean that you're against America. It's just the fact that there's a thing against graphic. You're supposed to dress, when you come into the office, even on Saturdays, you are supposed to dress somewhat business casual. Like, for example, I could wear a t-shirt like this, plain white tee, on Saturday. But if there was a graphic on this, my boss could say cover up or change your shirt. He could. And that's the reason why. But it has nothing against but the thing is, it has nothing against how much you love the country or patriotism. It's just the fact in certain areas, especially government buildings and some other buildings, like most government buildings, you can't wear stuff like that. It's not the fact that you're not against America, it's the fact that it's a graphic thing. Plus, they can decide what you wear anyway. They can decide whether or not to admit you or not. It's that agency. They can do whatever they want. That doesn't mean, like, for example, like my agency, it doesn't mean. Now, for the thing is, after 9/11, they were selling T-shirts. Didn't have the American flag, but it had the American eagle sharpening its claws. We could wear that. That's not a problem because it's not the actual flag. So there's a way around it. But anyway, and now it's a help show of patriotism and, of course, help support the people of 9/11. But anyway, I pay my taxes. I help our government survive. That, to me, that's being an American. Now, some people might not have the same ideas as me, but that's a different story because I think more outside the box instead of straight tunnel vision. But that's me personally. But anyway, I don't know what it's like in other countries because I never lived there, except for once. I lived in Japan for 1 year. And that's a totally different scenario. Oh, really, trust me. But anyway, with that being said, as long as you love your country, that's great. You want to support your country, that's great. But just, you got to remember, certain people don't think the same way you do. And some people, like for example, right near my job, I drive around the neighborhood because right down the street is a Burger King and a Taco Bell, and a gas station. So I'm cut through the neighborhood all the time. One of the neighbors stopped me. It's like, I see you here all the time, and you always look at my flags. I'm like, yeah. Now, mind you, Trump 2020, the United States flag, Trump this and Trump that, God is my savior, Trump is my president. Those flags. I'm like, okay. No one else in the neighborhood has it. It's a very conservative neighborhood, as far as I know. You got a problem with that? I'm like, nope. Who you worship? It's none of my damn business. Who you support as president? It's none of my damn business. As long as you vote and you pay your taxes, you're good as golden with me. Oh, okay. Not like you. Okay. Let me go drive on. So, funny thing, a lot of times when I drive through the neighborhood, he waves. I'm like, how you doing? But that's okay. With that being said, that's enough not bully. That's enough talking about patriotism and Patriots Day and everything else. Hopefully you're having a good day. If you kind of agree with what I said, you can leave some words down below, and that's fine. If you disagree with what I said, you can leave your words down below. But guess what? There's no one right way to do it. So with that being said, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. For some, it's unusually hot and muggy. But anyway, talk to you guys later.